Welcome to today's explainer. I want you to think about the exact moment a trade is executed on your favorite brokerage app. You know the feeling. You see that notification pop up, and to you, the trader, the deal is instantly done, right? You own the stock. But actually, behind the scenes, far away from your glowing screen, in the vast engine room of global financial operations, the real work is literally just beginning. Today, we're unpacking our source material to reveal the invisible infrastructure that makes modern finance entirely possible. Okay, let's dive into this. When you click Buy, an invisible infrastructure of what the industry calls silent partners instantly steps in. We're talking about clearinghouses and Central Securities Depositories, or CSDs for short. Without these entities quietly operating in the background, the global markets would literally grind to a halt under a crushing mountain of unmatched paperwork and counterparty risk. They are the absolute unsung heroes, making sure the buyer actually gets their stock and the seller actually gets their cash. The home buying analogy. If you've ever bought a house, you know you don't just hand over a briefcase of cash and move in that same afternoon. It's a process. Finding the house on a listing site? Well, in finance, that's price discovery. Signing the initial offer? That's your trade execution, the moment you clicked buy. But then you enter this period of escrow where lawyers check the title, verify the funds, and prep the contracts. In the financial world, this is called clearing. The actual tangible moment you hand over the check in exchange for the front door keys, that is settlement. And finally, the official record of your name being stamped at the local land registry, that perfectly mirrors the exact role of the Central Securities Depository, or CSD. Phase 1, Escrow and Clearing. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the concept of novation. Our first silent partner is the clearinghouse, essentially the meticulous lawyer in your escrow process. Many clearinghouses today act as a central counterparty, or CCP. Through novation, the CCP legally tears up the original contract between you and the seller and inserts itself right in the middle. It literally becomes the buyer to every seller and the seller to every buyer. It's the ultimate safety net for the entire global financial system. Let's do a quick what this means for you check-in. Why should you care about novation? Well, because this eliminates what we call counterparty risk. If the person on the exact other side of your stock trade goes completely bankrupt 5 minutes after you execute the trade, you don't lose a single dime. The CCP steps in and guarantees the deal for both parties. It's literally the only reason you can trade with complete strangers around the world with absolute confidence. Let's move to Phase 2, the Digital Vault, CSDs, and see how this builds. If the clearinghouse was our lawyer, the CSD is our global vault and land registry combined. So how do securities actually move in this vault? Well, mostly, they don't. The CSD manages two primary storage methods. First is the immobilized form. Yes, physical paper stock certificates do still exist, probably gathering a lot of dust right now, but they stay locked tight in a highly secure vault while electronic records of ownership move around outside. The second method is the dematerialized form. This is the modern approach where physical certificates are destroyed entirely or just never existed in the first place, and they're replaced completely by electronic bits of data. So the crucial point is that when a trade finally reaches settlement, there's no physical paper flying across the world. The CSD simply updates this book entry ledger. Think of it as a massive, highly secure digital spreadsheet. Ownership is deleted from the seller's account and added to the buyer's account instantly. The operational tension. Getting to that clean settlement isn't easy. For the professionals in the back office, managing these partners involves constant, highly stressful instruction matching. Here's how it plays out. First, you submit your trade details to the clearing system. Second, the system searches the massive global network for a perfect corresponding mirror image from your counterparty. Third, and this is where the tension kicks in, if the price is off by literally a single penny, or if the settlement date doesn't perfectly align, the system throws an unmatched status. Unmatched is the sworn enemy of the back office. It means a multi-million-dollar trade is completely halted, metaphorical alarms ringing everywhere, until human beings scramble to figure out who made the typo. To efficiently manage this unbelievable daily fire hose of cash and securities, back offices have to make a choice between two settlement models. Gross settlement means processing every single trade one by one. It's incredibly safe, but extremely cash-intensive. Net settlement, on the other hand, involves batching everything together at the end of the day. So if you bought 100 shares of a company, but later sold 90, the system only settles the net difference of 10 shares. This massively reduces the amount of cash and stock that actually needs to physically move. It's a real game changer for market efficiency. The international bridge. Things get infinitely more complicated when you cross borders. And that is where international CSDs step in. These are the true giants of the industry, institutions like Euroclear and Clearstream. These entities act as an international bridge, allowing a buyer sitting in London to seamlessly settle a complex trade with a seller in Tokyo, often swapping multiple different currencies right in the middle. They are the ultimate global plumbing, ensuring that trillions of dollars flow across the world map perfectly every single day. Guardians of market integrity. These silent partners, they aren't just administrative clerks. They're the ones preventing total panic during market crashes. And this brilliantly illustrates a key point from our source material. Understanding these silent partners is the difference between seeing a trade as a single event and seeing it as a lifelong contract. It's an ongoing, rigorous process of validation, risk removal, and secure storage. It guarantees that the keys and the check always find the rightful owners, no matter how chaotic the world gets. So I want to leave you with this thought to ponder. We trust our life savings to these markets based entirely on the assumption that things will just work. But how much invisible risk is actually hiding in your own portfolio, mitigated only by these silent partners? I highly encourage you to keep exploring this invisible engine room of finance, because understanding the plumbing, that's the very first step to truly understanding the market itself. Until next time.